This is the Equid E-Commerce Show with your host, Jesse Ness, along with Richard O'Tay.
What's going on, Richie?
What's happening, Jess? This is different, huh?
This is definitely different. It's Happy Friday, but we're probably experiencing this more like our guests experience it because we're not next to each other, Hey,
It's one thing we all have in common no matter what right now. Things aren't what they used to be.
They are
some
not.
Are better, some are worse, but we're all pretty much at home.
Yeah. So we're at home. The good thing about podcasting and making videos is you can do this from anywhere. So here we are. This is my office where I've been living for the past month or so. Your office looks way better than mine here.
Well, I mean, this is also what I do too. So
you have a better microphone. Your audio is going to be better.
Depending on how long we're staying at home, we'll get you another microphone over your house too.
Yeah. I'm gonna need to step it up here. I've already ordered some pictures for the background here. We got to kind of, upgrade the office a little bit. If I'll have to shave here eventually. Like I have a quarantine beard going, So probably like you, and like other people listening, hopefully for people that are dealing with something serious or have family members that are sick, I hope the best for you. I'm going from the idea that most people are probably like you and I, stuck at home, kids driving you crazy, more of a stir crazy situation, and then trying to figure out what the heck are you going to do with your business, right? Like that's the reality for most people. That might be a best case scenario for most people, to be honest with you. And so we're here to help and see what kind of advice we can give.
Yeah. And I just want to reiterate, Jesse, it's a good point. Like we don't know the exact situation you're in, but we wanted to reach out. We didn't want to stop the momentum of connecting with the Equid community and basically reaching out and doing whatever we could. Some of you are going to be booming with sales right now because things were going good, and in whatever product service you sell right now happens to be in demand. Other of you might have just been getting started and didn't really have traffic sources and are now getting traffic and don't really know what to do with it because maybe you can improve some things. And then there are other people that just might not have a product that's in demand now at all. And we're going to try to touch on a little bit of each of those because we want to add value no matter what. But I really, really want to reiterate with Jesse's point that no matter what, we hope your families are safe. We hope your families are healthy, and your community is doing all it can to help each other out. And we just want to do the same for you guys.
Yeah. So definitely want to help you out. I think we can start kind of first on the, for people that really hadn't got their business going, or there's been a ton of interest in e-commerce right now because of the financial situation. A lot of people are, they're not working right now. So they are starting an online business. So for people that are just tuning in for the first time, great, welcome. We're here to help you. There's other people that, they already kind of were dialed in and their business is probably booming right now. I do know from internal stats, like there's people that are doing very, very well right now. We'll get into that next. But first, Rich, let's kind of help the people that are, maybe they're in a bad spot right now. We'll go from, sometimes there's a lot of people that sold tickets to events. All right, well, they're in some tough spots right now. There's no events. Or, you're selling products that just kind of needed more of a hand-to-hand contact, that needed something. Like we have help for you, right? Actually, there's people, on the lighter side, maybe you sell pants, right? Probably not doing that well. Everybody's now living their life online from, their stomach up. So if you sell pants, maybe you're not doing so well. So Rich,
these are legit stats. Right? We don't actually have the exact numbers, but we've seen multiple things where sales of tops, basically waist up, have gone up, and waist down the sales, shoes aren't selling as good. There's all kinds of things that it's just been an interesting phenomenon.
Keep on wearing pants, Rich. This is the reality here. It's a pants-free zone. I'm wearing pants, just so everybody's aware. But yeah, it's a different world that we're living in. So some people are doing well with this. A lot of people are not. So if you're not, right, like, maybe they're taking a little bit of a pause in your business. That's totally fine. So now take advantage of this pause, kind of take a look at your business holistically. This will not be forever, right? Like, I'm not getting into projections of when we return to life as normal, but it won't be forever. And you're going to be glad that you took some time to kind of rebuild your business or build your business for the first time. So,
that's a good point, Jess. I mean, things are going to change, but I do think some things will stay out of this. And no matter what, I think more people will realize that they need to work on their digital presence. So no matter what happens, and again, hopefully, the life you're living gets back to whatever form of sanity you need and are working on. But no matter what, the digital footprint is going to be more valuable than ever. And so kind of before we jump into these things, it's even if you're not doing well, it's not because business isn't being done online right now. This is a lot, we were discussing a little bit prior, this is a lot like Black Friday or during the holiday season right now, where people are at home. And again, it's not necessarily the holiday feeling, but it's that same environment where more people are home, they're with their families, they're not at work, they're looking online. What was the latest stat, Jess? I want to say YouTube doubled with video views or some crazy number. I don't remember exactly, but it was definitely up there.
Sure.
So it's not because people aren't online. There just might be some fundamental things that you can work on.
Yeah. So let's get back to the fundamentals. I mean, obviously we're in, I don't know what podcast number we're in. We're in the 60s, 70s here. You can listen to all of our podcasts. I'm sure you are, binge listening right now, but it is a little bit of a getting back to the basics, right? Like, what does your site look like? And don't, like, I know this is super basic, but look at your own site and would you buy from this site? And then look at it on a mobile phone. Would you buy it from a mobile phone? And can you check out easily from a mobile phone? So super basic stuff, but now is the time to kind of like really dive deep into like, what does my site look like? Could I spend a little time making it look nicer, take nicer pictures? You have the time, I know you do. So no, do spend the time and kind of like get under the hood with your business, particularly if you're not, blowing up on sales.
Yeah. And this is also a really good time to just look at the systems and processes. So this probably would help whether you're just getting started and really have the time to map some of this stuff out because you don't really know, and maybe you're going to go back to work and you want to be able to pass off these systems and processes to somebody else as your business grows. Or maybe you're doing great and you need to expand and you need to be focusing on other things, working on your systems and processes, basically your SOPs, standard operating procedures. And I think regardless, this would be a good time to even look into that.
Yeah, and to be more specific, if you're wondering like what the heck is Rich talking about here, it's like when an order comes in, what happens next? Are you copy and pasting this and putting it onto a label for a shipping company, right? And then you're printing it out and it's a different printer. Like, is that efficient, right? Like, could you be doing something else? What happens next? Does that email get added to a list? Actually, it wasn't too many podcasts ago, we had Will on for data automation.
I was literally just going to look up that episode number.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, so we had him on. It was kind of pre-crisis times, so we weren't talking about it related to this. But yeah, like either you have time to work on this right now, or you're so busy that you really need to work on this right now or you're going to go crazy. So now's a good time to kind of take a look at those processes. What could you improve? And even if you need outsourced people, there's a lot of other people that are available to help right now. they were furloughed. They are good with computers and have time on their hands too. So it's a good time to take a look at the whole systems and processes and what can you fix up, if you have the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So actually, kind of the next point here, I think you'd mentioned it too, when we talked earlier. A lot of people are home, right? When they're craving social contact. Like I this is my front window over here. I can see people walking around and we wave and stuff, but I miss talking to people. And Rich, we talk on the phone, but that's not the same. So it's a good time to reach out to people on social, reach out to your customers on the phone, like give them a call. What did they like about your product? What did they not like? Like what else could you do to help them, right? Like,
Yeah, and it's a really good time to deepen the relationship is basically what you're alluding to here right now. We have some extra time. We want to communicate. I'm sure it could be a little bit a balancing act in some cases, because you don't necessarily want to come across like, hey, I'm trying to sell you a bunch more stuff, but you could be pleasantly surprised. You could be calling out just to check in on them, see how everything's going, see how the delivery went, just saying hello, and actually potentially deepen the relationship enough to where, hey, when things go back to normal, they could be some form of percentage point higher that they would not think about going to someone else just because you did reach out. And so from the insights you could get to the deepening the relationship, we've all known, basically when it comes to business, you got to get new customers, you got to get customers to come back again, and you hope that they buy more products and services from you each time, or you can get the cart value up. Like that's pretty much the ways you make money. And so if you can deepen that relationship, you might even get referrals out of that phone call. Like, wow, they're talking to their aunt or their uncle. I can't believe I placed an order and the owner of the company called me up and asked how it went and was just checking in. For some people, you're not going to have the time to do that, but it's definitely a great time to do that. Because although it's partially why I don't even like that phrase, social distancing. I can understand physical distancing. Like I get why they're saying it, but it's really a time for social tightening and more social connections. But definitely we are apart, but that doesn't mean we want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and again, you probably have the time, and beyond that too, everybody's kind of in a weird mental state, where I think people are craving a real connection with companies rather than just the random big box stores. They're buying from small entrepreneurs. They want to hear a story, hear a voice. So be that real person, be that real voice, particularly if you have the time, right? So now's the time. Please take advantage of it. I think kind of also, if you have the time right now, this is the perfect time to really focus in on the big project that you wanted to do, right? I have a lot of projects in my mind that, man, I really need 40 hours to do this. Well, if you have that 40 hours right now, like if you worked in travel, or you worked in hospitality, or even many, many different industries right now, please take advantage of this time to work on a big project. So if you don't have that project, now's the time for training, right? We already mentioned, how many hours of podcast? We probably have 80 hours of podcast content out there that you could listen to. So the early ones, probably a little rough, give us a pass on those. But, there's some really good content out there. The Equid YouTube channel has all sorts of other good content. Some of it's a little more how-to, some of it's some funny videos that we've made that are hopefully informative as well. And then beyond that too, like dive into YouTube and get some marketing training, right? Beyond what we are doing at Equid. Like this is a time to educate yourself. Like, hey, maybe you've already seen Tiger King, right? Like, I know there's an extra episode, right? But like, yes, you can stream all the content you want, but try to stream educational content that brings your business forward. You have the time, you're sitting at a computer probably a good portion of the day, take advantage of that.
Yeah, and your sons are a little younger than my daughter, but I've even tried to incorporate her a little bit, and which kind of makes me think at like you could have family members, you could have your significant other, your wife, your husband, like whatever, boyfriend, girlfriend, like someone in your home that you're stuck with that it didn't really sound right, but you know what I mean.
With, I will I'll be talking to Trish about that, but I understand.
But you're staying home with them, and they've always wanted to learn a little bit more. Now might be the time, you know, in other cases, now might be the exact opposite time, but it's worth thinking about. If they've wanted to learn more, maybe you can outsource a task to them, or maybe you have some teenagers that are really good with social media and you've never been good with your Instagram game. Like, hey man, now it's time to get them involved and help with the family. And they're only going to be more excited because they're going to get to play on Instagram or, you know, do whatever. But just kind of thinking out of the box. Again, this has been one of the more unique podcasts because we always want to help, but we don't know exactly where you're at in this moment. So we're trying to kind of cover, you could be doing great, you could be new, but when we're doing great, we could still be doing better. You could not be doing so good, but no matter what, when you get back to the fundamentals and you get back to, hey, what are some things I wanted to get done? Like Jesse alluded to, bigger projects. Why not try to incorporate, if possible, the people in your home that might be able to help you kind of go through those projects a little bit better, possibly get some help.
Yep. I've seen enough Ryan's toy review that I think I need to put my kids to work. Like
Crazy, right?
Yeah, we've seen enough YouTube videos. Kids, what can you do for our family here? Like we need to kind of retrain you into making videos. I don't know if they're gonna make good Equid World videos, but yes. I think to your point, Rich, like your family's there, you guys are all together. Is there a way that they can help you out, get people into your family business? So make it a family business. So all good stuff. I'm gonna kind of shift it a little bit to so this is for people that are actually doing quite well. And there are a lot of people doing very well right now. I know from the stats that we have, there's 2x, 3x, 10x, like people are going crazy. There's a lot of reasons for it, right? So, I mean, hey, you sell food, right? Like if you sell food, people are buying food right now. And I'm not talking, there's like, obviously if you sell hand sanitizer and face masks, you're doing great too. And I hope you're not taking advantage of people, but like beyond the most super obvious things, there are a lot of areas that are doing well. Like, I have a horrible background over here, like, so people are fixing up their home offices. We bought a couple desks for my wife's office because she needed a place to work. So a ton of different areas are doing really well. And I mean, we won't go through them all, but whatever, things to keep your kids occupied. So, I mean, lots of people are doing well. There's also a little bit of a spillover effect from Amazon. So Amazon's doing great. People are, everybody already had an Amazon Prime account, but merchants can't get their products into Amazon right now. Like their FBA is kind of shut down. You can't ship non-essential products in. So that's a bit of an issue. People that already have their products in there, if you go look at a lot of products, you can't get it shipped to you for like 30 days, especially if it's non-essential. So there's a lot of merchants that had made their business on Amazon, and now they're like, hey, I should be doing great. What happened? Oh, well, look at your product listings. They're not shipping it for another 30 days. So there's a huge spillover from them onto, I would say more traditional e-commerce. So there's a lot of people that they used to do a lot of business on Amazon, and now they're doing that business on their own retail store, or they're setting up retail stores. And mainly because they can now ship today, tomorrow, whatever their normal shipping time is.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jess. And then I think this is kind of what you're getting to, but I'll just add a little to it. Is people have no like and trust with Amazon as far as they know they're going to get their product, they know they're going to get taken care of. But when you look up a product and it says you're not going to get it for another month, unlike in the past, that's going to lead them to go back to a Google search, to go back to looking for that product somewhere else, and basically what you're getting to, it's gonna have some overflow, and your traditional e-commerce store is going to get more business just because they're going to see if it's available somewhere else quicker.
Absolutely. I mean, I see it happening there. I mean, like, by the way, Amazon's doing just great. They're gonna be fine. They're gonna figure it out. It is that spillover effect where maybe it's a product that is not essential. You don't really need it tomorrow, but you become accustomed to getting it right away. So you look at that store and you don't see it. And by the way, I can't see that word anymore because there's a device that keeps is the wake word for a device over there. So um, you immediately start to Google it. So you Google it, you see what else is out there, and you're buying from other e-commerce stores. So we're seeing a lot of people have a shift from percentage of sales from Amazon to percentage of sales from their traditional retail store. There's a big shift there. So anyway, there is just sort of there's a little bit of a boom time in e-commerce because people are at home. They still need stuff, or they still, you know, or they still want stuff, right? Like some of it's just consumption, right? Like it's not all hand sanitizer and face masks here. A lot of it's just, I need a basketball hoop for my kids because they're driving me crazy, right? Like,
Right.
so that's going on. So if you're already in these businesses, you already know it, right? Like you know that like the sales are coming in faster. Maybe you're having trouble stocking your products. If you're not quite there yet, or maybe you just started. So this is particularly for people that have just started or have never really haven't quite made it yet and want to give it a good pop. Um, it's craziness going on with the ad networks, right? So I do advertising for Equid, so I can see it firsthand, but there's now an explosion of internet traffic. So you mentioned YouTube is about double. Facebook is also, I don't know if it's quite double, but there's way more people online, and that's specifically Facebook, um, Google to a point, but just online. That's where the display ads go, and specifically YouTube. So all the networks are up. So they now have double the inventory. So all those little ads that pay for these things, there's more ads available, and there's now less advertisers. So all the companies that are shut down, bars, restaurants, hotels, travel, any retail stores, they're not advertising right now. So now there's a huge gap, or there's a bargain for ad prices, right? However you want to look at it. The supply is way, way up and the demand is way, way down. So for retailers, for e-commerce, this is a great opportunity because ad prices are so much lower. So,
Well, and that's a really good point. But I just want to point out a nuance in there too, that you can place ads that might be a good time to gather new customers, or excuse me, just awareness or brand awareness. You can do good things and still create an ad about things you're doing to help the community, or it doesn't necessarily have to land on a sales page. I'm not telling you to not land it on a sales page, but you can place ads. There's different types of ads, right? So brand awareness, top of funnel, and the traditional, hey, this is something that you might need right this very second. You've searched for it, land them on a sales page. Like, we're all in business, so I'm not telling you to be afraid of sales, but it's a touchy time too. So I just wanted to throw in that one little nuance, that if it's obvious that it's just like a product that someone might need this very second, and no one's going to think it's strange that you're landing on a sales page, land them on a sales page. But if you think this product might take a little bit longer to sell because people do a little research, it might be a good time to just talk about how you're helping the community, talk about your brand a little bit more, and show something you're doing to help out. So there's different ways. It doesn't always have to be, I land them on a sales page.
Yeah. And thanks for kind of keeping it real there, Rich. Like, yes, there's a huge opportunity to sell stuff. Doesn't mean that you just need to say, buy now, right? Like, you can have, if it's YouTube and Facebook specifically, have a quick little video about what you're doing, about your business, even if it's, I don't know. It doesn't need to be that you're donating all your profits to a charity. It could just be the steps you have taken in this time, right? There's a balance there. But I think people do want to hear how you're adapting to these times, and what if anything you can do to help, right? So those are good messages. And kind of on the opportunity side is that prices to get that message out is extremely cheap right now. So I would say for people that are listening, they're like, yeah, I've tried advertising before. I did this. I spent $50 on whatever network. Well, first of all, that probably wasn't enough. You probably didn't try long enough. But now that $50 or that $500 is going to probably go twice as far. And people are going to be more likely to buy when they do see the message. So ads are cheaper and conversion rates are up across the board. So if you're wondering, what should I do? I don't know, advertise, get that message out, 100%. Like, and if you're saying, what should I advertise? What we talked about before, the video, yes, you should do that. If you've never done that before, that scares you a little bit, then you should do dynamic product ads. So in the Google world, that's Google Shopping. It's now Google Smart Shopping. And actually, Google kind of does the heavy lifting there for you. So it takes your product catalog, the prices, and it shows it on the top of Google when people search for it. But now Smart Shopping takes that way beyond that. It shows it in regular display ads. It shows it in YouTube, Gmail, kind of across the whole internet. So there's a whole podcast on Google Smart Shopping. Please go look for it if you care, but that's working. On the Facebook side, it's dynamic product ads. And there's a way to do it automatically through Equid. It just, again, same thing. It connects your product catalog into Facebook and Instagram. And when I say Facebook, I mean Facebook and Instagram. So when you do get people to your site, it will show those ads to them, for probably the next 30 days. So those are both easy options. But I just wanted to mention that, as I've mentioned this before, so I don't want to sound like a broken record here. But what I'm more specifically, if you've tried certain types of advertising before and they have not worked, now is probably the time. Like, this is like when we mentioned the Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It's kind of a Black Friday, Cyber Monday thing where, like, now is the time to take risks in selling online, because it's way more likely to pay off right now than it would in an off season, right? Like, this is not an off season.
Yeah. And there's a lot of time, just to kind of double down on what you're talking about there, Jesse. There's a lot of time in the history of the world, and you go back, we're kind of geeks for this stuff. So I do a lot of reading, and, there's been times in the past, like there was a company called Post and a company called Kellogg's, and market downturn, Post decide, then they're the leader in cereal brand. They decide, we're going to cut back on spending. Kellogg's basically triples down on spending. Barely went, well, it would be an older demographic anyway, but no one knows of Post. Kellogg's is almost every single cereal on the shelf and more. So there's, to Jesse's point, and literally doubling down on ad spend could actually be something that could take you to the next level too, because it starts with awareness.
Yep, for sure. So definitely getting the word out there. It's a cheaper time to get that message out there. It doesn't need to just be, like, yes, we mentioned the dynamic product ads because they're the ones that work the best, in my opinion, and they're the easiest to set up. But any type of messaging that you can do, any type of video for Facebook, if you've tried Google search before and it didn't work, now it might just work. So take a look at what you've done in the past, and if it was borderline, like it sort of worked, sort of not, doing the same thing right now is more likely to work. Or if you're hedging on whether you should try something, I would just encourage you to try something. And again, doesn't need to be advertising. I'm mentioning advertising because it's fastest and it scales, but it could be an email campaign. It could be paying an influencer. It could be any of the strategies that we've talked about on any podcast. But right now, traffic is cheap and conversion rates are up. So, please get out there, market your business. You might need this money, like you might need to pay your mortgage, right? Or you need money for all sorts of things. So it's not, I don't feel bad in saying this, right? Like, life will continue. So please get out there and get your business going.
Yeah. And I'll just throw one little point, and I know we're starting to wind down here, but this also might be a great time to reach out and do collaborations with other businesses that might, your products might be able to coexist together. They might already have your market, you might already have their market, and there might be, you can email their list, they can email your list. Now it's going to be different with different kinds of products, but the people who reach out and try to connect more than ever are going to have an opportunity, especially if it's very obvious you're trying to do good and you're not just me. I think this is a fantastic time for collaborations with other businesses, because, I'm not going to get political, but there's a lot of finger pointing going on. So anybody who's going to try to bring people closer together, whichever side of the fence you're on, not even going down that road, but if you can bring people together and you can reach out and talk to another business about how you might be able to help them and reciprocate, then that could be a great one too, Jess.
Yeah, for sure. It is a crazy time. The world has changed a little bit, and I think people are going to remember, what did you do during this time, right? What did your business do during this time? And actually we didn't mention this, but like, you probably should have some sort of sale to help people out, obviously everybody has email, right? You see the emails coming in. There's a lot of sales going on. So people are foregoing profits. Doesn't mean you should be losing money, but their sales will get attention and there is a reason to do it. You're helping people out. So, like, people will remember what you did during this time, right? So, so don't go buy the hand sanitizer from Walmart and try to gouge people, right? Like, try to do right, and people will remember you down the road. So, kind of on that note, I didn't mean to do this as a segue, but if you haven't been to the Equid website, so go to equid.com. You're going to see the pop-up or the slider. It's going to go to /COVID-19. You can see what Equid is doing for our community. So I don't want to steal Tim's thunder. He made an awesome YouTube video that talked about it. So please check out the COVID-19 video we have on YouTube, but you can also check out that page. So I'll just kind of go through it really quickly. So we realized this is a crazy time. We wanted to make sure that we took some features and included them in our free plan where we wouldn't have had it in the past. So specifically the curbside pickup. So we had a form of curbside pickup, but when this started to hit, we immediately kind of fine-tuned what we were doing. We allowed pickup times, move that into the free plan, so that even people on the free plan could take advantage of this. For retail stores that just have to be able to allow curbside pickup, restaurants particularly, that's available. It's available for free. Gift cards. So gift cards used to be a paid feature. You had to upgrade to paid to offer gift cards and sell gift cards. That's now on the free plan. So this is also really important for the retail businesses that were, online, offline. And you're seeing probably this in your email as well. A lot of people are selling gift cards. It really helps keep some of the small businesses afloat. Maybe they're like, they're this close from paying their rent. Buy gift cards from people locally, please do that. And then if you have a retail business yourself, that's a good time to offer this. More coming on that. The point of sale integration, this was actually used to be on a $99 plan. It was only on our unlimited plan, where we had the full synchronization between Square and Clover and Vend and Alice and somebody I'm forgetting, but all the point of sale terminals, we used to be on the $99 plan. That's now moved to the free plan. So if you're on one of those terminals, that's now available. You can take your inventory from a point of sale and immediately open up a store, and that's available on the free plan. Drop shipping apps. So Rich, we've had Printful on before. So Printful is where they make like print on demand t-shirts and hats and all sorts of stuff. We moved that app as available on the free plan as well. So Rich, I don't know if you knew that, but I know.
No, that's nice. That's new.
Little t-shirt thing, like you can now open up your t-shirt store for free on the free plan. There's another one to wholesale B2B. It's a more of a general service drop shipper, all available on the free plan. I believe we're doing that till the end of 2020. So it's not just a 30-day trial. Like, this is all on the free plan to the end of 2020. So we realize people are struggling. We're doing this worldwide. We saw an explosion of interest in Italy and Spain. So like, it's just kind of we just want to do our part for our community. So if you're on any plan, you already have these. Those are also on the paid plans as well. But just to let you know, we're trying to do our part and help the community through this time. So Rich, t-shirt store, let's do this right now.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. My daughter's, as you know, she's a big artist, and I'll go tell her now. Maybe we'll get the family back involved by having her little side hustle. Who knows when she's going back to school?
Yeah, could be a while. Like, you can retire on her.
Oh man, could you imagine?
Yeah. All right. Let's keep these.
Hey, you got 3 of them.
I know. I don't know about the
child labor
abilities, but maybe. So, Rich, any last questions here? Anything we can leave people with?
It would just be, again, I can't say enough that we're here. We really want to help. Hope you hear it in our voices. We always want to help. It's the reason we created this show. And we hope your families stay healthy, happy, your businesses stay healthy, strong, and really just enjoy the time with your family. Try to compartmentalize as much as possible and try to possibly bring them in as well. Whatever the balance in your own family, everyone's different. But we appreciate you listening, and we look forward to finding more ways to help you guys out, and, bless y'all, and hope everything works out great. Get back to work.
Well said, Rich. Appreciate it. All right, guys, get out there, get after your business, make it happen.
Hey, this is Jesse and Rich. We want to let you know we really appreciate you listening.
We hope you find the tips we give you helpful for growing your business.
You can find all of our past episodes and a lot more useful stuff at equid.com/podcast.
And also, check us out on your favorite podcasting platform like Apple Podcast or Stitcher. And make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing.
Be sure to let us know what you think by rating and reviewing so we can serve you better.
So subscribe on your favorite platform.
And come join our community, check out the transcripts, or tell us why you would be a great guest at equid.com/podcast.